I am recording this call, and I'm going to give this to you also because there's going to be a lot of information here, right? So, just to kind of reiterate, what I did for you is I did a one-time campaign and, like overall account structure setup, right? So everything is set up for you the, correct way. The keyword research has been done. The STAGs, the single theme ad groups are set up. All the, actual account settings like auto apply, auto recommendations and stuff, all that. And the bidding is set up how I would start an account. And so now the whole point of this, right, is so you can, kind of take it from here and be able to, easily optimize the account going forward, right? So this is basically like okay, I started running Google ads, like I just click play, like now what, right? So I'm going to kind of run through like what you're going to see, what you need to be, doing, kind of like how to work in phases. So it is going to be a lot of information. And maybe you could tell by just watching my YouTube videos that when I get starting on something, I can talk forever. So if you have any questions, man, the whole point of this, right, is so you can learn what to do with your Google ads and how you can optimize them and how you can make them profitable. Okay. So please ask me all and any of the questions you have. Ask me to explain things twice. And then, again, you are going to have this recording too, so you can go back into it. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
Great, man. Great. So the first thing here, so this is the name of the campaign, right? As you can see right here. What's also nice too is I can just kind of circle it right here, which is really cool. So this is the name of the campaign. I have it paused here. I just put a random budget there. I'm going to leave that, of course, up to you. But now since we have the one campaign down, right? So I know you kind of mentioned of where you want to spend. So I'm gonna leave that up to you. While you're just spending in that area, like less than $2,000 a month, one search campaign is going to do you plenty while optimizing inside there. So to get into that, right, an overall top-down view is the most important thing. Of course, we talked about in our first call is having conversion tracking set up, right? So you need to know like when someone fills out a form or when someone calls from the ads, et cetera, and you need to be able to attribute that back to certain, ads, certain keywords, et cetera, so you can, improve the results, right? So I know on your site right now, you don't really have like the phone number to click. I talked about that. I figured that's something that you'll add, if you want to, but without that, what you can do is you can track call from ads, which you already have because that's just a Google setting. And then also what I did, I'll show you that here in a second too, but what I did is I actually built you a thank you page on your website. So now if you go ahead and you make like a form, right? Like let's say like a free quote form, right? Or if someone, goes and they click book now, they go through your third-party booking system and then they book and they get rerouted to that thank you page, right? So whether it's the form or the booking platform, but if someone gets rerouted to that thank you page, then it triggers as a conversion in Google Ads, assuming they obviously came from Google Ads, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I have that in here, and I'll just show you. It doesn't, and I think I gave you access to the Google Tag Manager that I made it installed for you. If you didn't, I will double check and make sure you have it. But there's nothing that you'll ever really need to do with it, but it's right here. So this is a conversion event I made. Oops. So it's automatically set up in here, and it's set as a primary. And I have it being used on this campaign I made. So just so you know that if you have it, so someone fills out a form and then boom, they fill out the form and it takes you to the thank you page, that it'll instantly, any way that someone gets to that thank you page, it will be tracked in Google Ads as a submit lead form, just so you know.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's a big one. And then call from ads too. And then of course, because you're not really showing your phone number on your site yet, there's not really a great way to do that unless you use like a third-party tool like CallRail to actually, track the success of the phone call. Otherwise, you can just go, from like call from website, which is just going to be like people clicking the phone number, right? But for now, what you have with your third-party booking tool and whatnot, and like running a form, this is going to be the good stuff. So just want to let you know that is in there. Also, too, after this call, I will send you that thank you page URL just so you have it and you know it, right? So now you're like, hey, I'm going to add a form. I'm going to add it to my third-party booking. You can just have that link, and anywhere you add it, it'll be tracked as a conversion if someone lands on that page. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. When you say my phone number is on the website, do you mean, like when you go, which are you looking at the right spot? Because, on the main, when you go on the website, it says contact now with my number actually on there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the site right now, and I won't show it. Well, I can even have this just cut out of the video too. But like right when I look on your site, right, it's typically best to have like your phone number in a spot where people can see it right away. So like you see how like the top right of your website, it says book appointment.
Yeah.
That should probably be where your phone number should be.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
So book appointment. Okay, and then so should I change that to book appointment, put call. I can change that to do call to contact me, and then where it says contact us, should I
Mhm.
change that to book appointment? So just swap them out.
I would probably do that. Yeah. And what I would do is I would just put like a button up there at the top right where someone can see your phone number and click it as well.
Okay, instead of okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah. And then that's what I would do. It just depends on what you want, right? But like for like a newer business like yourself, being able to, like remove as much friction and be able to get a lead as quick as you can, whether it's a phone call or a form, right? Like the least amount of details, the quickest you can make it, it's going to help a lot. So it just depends, right? Like if you're like, hey, I'm still doing all the jobs, so I'm not able to get to my phone quickly enough, that might be, a downfall when the form could be better. But I still recommend using both.
Okay, yeah, that works. I'll go ahead and change that.
Cool. And then what I can do for you too is whenever you fix that, just let me know because I still have access to your stuff. And what I'll do then is so the only conversion tracking you can do with like your native number on like your native platform, like your website builder, is just going to be like tracking like when someone like clicks that button, right? So if you make that phone number a button, when someone clicks it on a mobile device, it'll pull up at the bottom and be like call and put the number right, and then you can call. So I can track it. So when someone clicks on that, it triggers a conversion. The only problem is it's not 100% accurate because if someone clicks that and doesn't call, it'll get marked as a conversion. So what I would suggest if you really want to get serious with it is using something like CallRail. And that's something we can talk about too. But basically it just sets up like a forwarding or like a masking number. So it can actually track if the phone call was made. Right. And like how long that phone call went for. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. But that's something that I can help you with, if in the future if you need it. But just let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So that's everything on the actual conversion side. So now if I go into the actual campaign itself, I'm just gonna start with the actual settings, right? So the big things here is like just like the overall marketing objective, the bidding, simple stuff like that, right? So always in this account, right, you're gonna want to go for leads, right? Like that's just the number one course, leads always. And then search networks, I have these off. So if you ever want to turn these on, you may as well just run a Performance Max campaign. But for your budget and where you're at, don't worry about that yet. That's just kind of like getting, kind of deeper into the system, like some retargeting, using more image, video ads. It's kind of a different strategy. For you, I would stick to search. And then your conversion goals are in here, right? So people call from the ads. I know in your conversion goal tab, you have a ton of, these. They kind of look like they're just duplicated. So I didn't want to ever miss any. So I just had them all in there. And then same thing with that actual submit lead form. So that's what this campaign is running off of right now. And then for the actual bidding strategy, right, there's a couple options here. Typically, it's like, hey, maximize, conversions or, conversion value, which is more like if someone's making an actual purchase and the dollar amount's being tracked. But since you don't really have any conversions in the account yet, I went with clicks. Okay, and so something that you could, if you're taking notes on the side here during this call, then something you could write down is once your account sees about 30 conversions, you can go ahead and switch this bidding to maximize conversions, which would be right here.
Okay.
So that's what I would do. So right now we want to go for clicks, and then once you get 30 real conversions logged, I would switch that to conversions.
Okay. We'll do.
So that's what I would do. So I just have that there on clicks. Then everything else is okay. I have AI Max off. Everything else in here is fine. It's where it needs to be. These are all kind of just like not as important of settings. One thing I have in here too, I have my exclusions, of course, and then for locations, I have presence for people in or regularly in. But for your locations, I know we kind of talked a little bit back and forth of the locations you wanted to use. So this is what I have for you right here. So if you want to add any more to that or remove any, just go ahead. So all the keywords that are in this account that I'll show you here shortly are all based off of the research from these cities. So if you wanted to add something like Tempe, or add like surprise, I would expect the keyword volume, to be the same. So I cover all the bases. So don't worry about the keywords, but feel free to add and remove locations as you want here.
Okay. No, I think that's perfect for now. Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, because I took notes from when we talked on the phone, but I wasn't sure because I know you mentioned that you were thinking about Tempe or something like that too. So I just wanted to let you know that all you need to do in here is go to advanced search. And then what you need to do is just go ahead and add it, right? If you wanted to add Tempe, Arizona, you just would click it and you just add it right here.
Okay. Awesome. Okay.
Just so you know, but I will just remove that for now. And that's all we need to do. So those are the actual campaign settings itself, right? So we're optimizing for leads or maximizing the clicks, and then you have all the correct settings. So now going into the actual campaign itself, So the biggest method in Google Ads that I'm the most fond of is going to be STAGs, right? And that's called single theme ad groups. So what that means is that you have an ad group for every single like major service, right? And because when it comes to like auto detailing, like there really only is auto detailing, right? There's really not much more than that unless, you know, like, okay, interior or exterior or ceramic coating. So I like to even kind of split up even more and do auto detailing, mobile auto detailing, car detailing. And then you mentioned your ceramic coating. So I even have an ad group in here for you as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay.
Yeah, awesome, man. So let's just I'll just go through all the keywords. I'll only go like through the ad copy for one of these, just to kind of show you. But I also, if I take a look here, I have 2 different ads with different ad copy per each ad group for split testing.
Okay.
So if you ever look into this and you go, okay, this ad's getting way more spend and does way better, then you can just pause the other ad. I always do 2 ads, right? So each ad group is going to have about 30 different headline variations, a total of 8 description, variations and stuff like that. Just so you know. So everything's getting tested. And then what that does too is I also have a setting on enabled for you where Google is gonna it shows like because what it does like in rotation, it'll just like show kind of like random headlines together. But I turned on a setting for you at the account level where whatever headlines like assets like descriptions, call out, site links, headlines, whatever ones are doing better, Google will show those ones more.
Okay.
Right. So I always just give the system enough to work with so Google can have enough to test and like make that decision.
Okay.
So you don't need to do a lot with this. It'll work itself out. But just so you know. And then let's just go into one of these ad groups. Right. So if I go to auto detailing, I primarily just did phrase match across the board because it is a very safe. It's a very safe, I guess, method, right? And because I'm not going to be the one managing it, you are. I didn't want to stick you with broad match keywords, right? So are you aware of like the 3 different types of keywords, like exact, phrase, and broad?
Not really, not much.
Okay, that's okay. So let me just give you a quick example, right? So you can make any keyword a phrase match, a broad match, or an exact match, okay? So what an exact match keyword is, right, is, so like let's just say that auto detailing, let's say I made this exact match, right? Puts brackets around it, that means it's exact match. That means that in order for this keyword to be triggered, someone would have to literally go on Google and type in auto detailing. That's it. Like it would have to be that exact keyword, right? That exact word for the ad to show up. Okay.
Okay.
So that's like very tight. It's very like you can't really mess with it. You can't really shake it, right? And then phrase match is basically if someone looked up a phrase that has this keyword in it, right? So if I looked up auto detailing near me, Goodyear, Arizona, this could show because this phrase is in it, right? Or if someone looked up, where do I call for the best auto detailing company near me, this would still show, right? Okay. So I always think of like your exact match keywords, like the anchor, like they're not going anywhere. Your phrase match is like they're able to reach out within like a hand's length. And then broad match basically just opens it up. And broad match takes every single word very, very literally. So if someone types in anything related to the word auto, you run the risk of your ads showing up, or the word detailing. So if someone was like auto shop near me, your ads are very likely to show up. Or if someone was like, where can I buy the best detailing soap to clean my own car? Your ads risk showing up, right?
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Yeah. So the reason why I stuck with phrase match for your build is because I didn't want to just like dump a bunch of broad match keywords onto your lap. And then you're like, I can't keep up with all these negatives. But I also didn't want to stick you with the exact match because it would be a little too strict. Your cost per click might be expensive. And then once you're there, you're kind of like stuck. So I wanted to put you right in the middle to still get the root good keywords and then be able to also attract other keywords, right? So there's a reason why I don't have a million keywords in here. And that's because these are going to be able to grab everything, right? Like, again, if I'm like, oh, shoot, Johnny, you missed, best auto detailing company near me, like that will be grabbed from these, right? And that's like part of like that one arm reach I mentioned. So yes, these are all the keywords. Again, I can go through all the ad groups, but they're all going to be very similar. It's not going to, mean much just showing right here. Probably just take a look at them. But these were all picked based on keyword research in your area. So those locations I showed, I did keyword research to find the terms that had the most volume. And those were turned into keywords. And the ones that don't have enough volume, like under 10 searches a month, when they do come up, they will still get picked up by these guys. But I wanted like the real root of the keyword to be where the actual volume is. just so you know we make sure the ads are shown, you get good data on it, stuff like that, right?
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's something I was having. So when I was
Mhm.
running my ad groups for like codings and stuff, I would get a lot of calls come kind of like towards PPF or just because
Yeah.
as a keyword I would have like protect like paint protection or
Mm.
yeah, just stuff like that. And I would get calls for like PPF and calling what's the difference between the coding PPF are you is this
Yeah.
something, yeah, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I really didn't even pay attention to that.
Yeah, no worries, man.
That
This is why I'm here. So yeah, we can even take a look at like I said, I have that ceramic coating for you here. These keywords a little bit more strict because there wasn't as many searches for it, but there is still a good amount. So I just made sure to cover everything in here too, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So these are all the keywords. And then what I'll do too is like the ad copy. So like the headlines and descriptions, they are different for every ad, but they're relatively similar because I do a thing where I basically follow like a simple rule that I made, like right, every single ad. So every single, we'll open it up here. Every single individual ad is supposed to have like a mixture of headlines, right? Like I want like, hey, keyword related, right? So like auto detailing, expert auto detailing, those are good, right? I also like emotional, like, you know, like restore your car shine, right? That's like a more of emotional, right? As well as I like call to action. So get a free quote, book online today, you know, adding your brand name in here, deep clean and protect, best, trusted, keywords, right? So that's like kind of what I do for all of them. So they're not all the exact same words, but they still fall like under this relative area, right?
Okay.
And then what you'll notice too, right? Is just this came from the auto detailing ad group. So all the keyword, or I'm sorry, all the words in this are going to be related to auto detailing. That's the big point too, right? Is because if someone looks up auto detailing, I want to give them ads that literally say auto detailing. I don't want to give them ads that say car detailing or exterior, you know, detailing necessarily, or like ceramic coating. I want it to be exactly what you're looking for. Right. Like you know, I can tell you're pretty fit. What, do you go to the gym or do you run?
Yeah, I go to the gym. I power
Okay. Perfect, dude. Yeah. So if you were looking for gym shoes and you looked up men's gym shoes and you got put on a website where it was just like the homepage and you had to go to men's, you had to go, okay, no, not running shoes, not climbing shoes, whatever, right? Like it would be different. Like if you came across an ad that was like, we sell shoes, that wouldn't be as intriguing as like, here's the best men's powerlifting gym shoes, right?
Right. Okay.
So that's kind of the same approach that I do with your ads. And that's why we do the single theme ad groups, is because if someone's looking for auto detailing, I want to give them auto detailing. Not car detailing, not ceramic coating. I want to give them exactly what they're looking for, right? So that's where we're at. So this is all of the ad copy here. As you can see, the descriptions as well. Every single ad has all the assets to make everything here. This just says good. This doesn't really matter. Some of the best ads I've ran before in the past will be at a low strength. It's because I know what, you know, matters the most. So don't take this too much into it, but
yeah,
just notice I've got the name, I've got images, I have the logo. You know, you only have so many, I guess, pages on your site that I thought were worth it. So we have your site links here. Are you aware of like what site links and callouts are by chance?
I don't.
Okay, that's okay. So these are just like additional assets that are going to support your ads. I'll show you an example here in a second, but I just want to show you that I have these site links for ceramic coatings, full detail packages, booking appointments, your work gallery. Same thing here. I noticed you have your prices. So I have this in here as well, so someone can immediately see this as well. I don't know if you want that on there or not.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, perfect. We have that, and then same thing with your phone number, so someone can you know, see your ad and click right there and call. Personally, I would prefer, you know, to use the one where it just kind of explains the number a little bit better. I kind of breaks it up and use something like this. That is what I would recommend. So I'm just gonna.
That's good. Yeah, like that.
Okay, cool. So I'll make sure that one's applied. And then same thing with like these call outs right here. These are just like little one-liners, which are nice. I always like these a little bit. So I'll show you an example of those. And I also have your Google My Business profile connected here too. So if someone looks up something that would trigger, you know, your Google Map Pack, now we can also show sponsored on the Google Maps. So you mentioned, or like on the Google My Business profile and on Maps, right? So you mentioned that you get a lot of organic business from your Google Business profile.
Yeah.
Like now we can combine both of those, which is really helpful.
That's
so
perfect.
This is going to help that even more. So let me show you an example, right? If I look up Phoenix Roofing Company. Okay, so for instance, right, here's a paid ad, right? Right here. This is a paid advertisement. Okay. Yeah. So this is headline 1. This is headline 2. This is a description. And then these things these things right here are called their site links.
Mm.
So I have that for you too, because like, do you see how much like more room this takes up on a screen?
Yeah.
Like this right here is like, that's like 75% of the ad is right here.
Right.
And so it's like, okay. And what you want to do with these is you want to use stuff that's going to like support your ads, right? So they have like payment options. They have free estimates, right? Their services, emergency. So that's kind of how I have it for you. But I have like, check out our gallery, book an appointment. I have that right here for you. So, also the biggest thing here is to support this. But like, again, look at how small the ad is, but look at how big the site links are. We want to take up as much room on the screen as possible, right? And so that coming into play too, right? We also have, your business name is there, your logo is there. Because what we'll probably see too is like if you keep scrolling, I know roofing companies are pretty solid, but there's a lot of guys who don't run like their business name or their logo and it looks kind of crappy. Here's also too like what these site links can also look like right here, these little guys. And then those little, I want to show you some right here. Just another example. Let's try Phoenix Plumbing. Phoenix Plumbers. Okay, so like here's another example here of a site link. I want to show you someone who doesn't have all the right stuff, and you can typically pick it out pretty good. Okay, so you see this right here. See this guy's ad? So this is an ad. And you see how it just says service experts, that's lame. That's besides the point. But you see how it just says serviceexperts.com?
Yeah.
And like just shows like their website. And then see how they don't have a logo?
Yeah. Was that like how mine was before?
I'm actually not too sure, to be honest. Because you didn't really run them very long. I didn't really spend too much time looking at like past individual ads, to be honest. Because I think you only spent like $200 prior, but I just want to let you know, right? So for example, like this is someone who has all the bells and whistles of like business logo, business name. Like that looks pretty clean, right? So we want to make sure that you're not showing up like this guy because it just looks a lot less trustworthy. He's further down on the page. That could be for a number of reasons, but I just wanted to show you that difference here. So that is the real difference, in some of those assets I have. You also have images too. I have the images I grabbed from your website. So for example, this doesn't happen all the time, but this does happen sometimes, right? Because Google's always, showing stuff and not showing stuff. But you might see there'd be like an image right here. If these guys had an image or if Google decided to use an image. So that also helps a lot too. So just want to let you know, all your ads have all the assets they need to be successful.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so that is everything on the actual like ad group side, campaign level, and like the ads. Now, I want to leave it open to you if you have any questions, because we're going to move into the next section of this call, which is going to be, okay, so the ads are good. Let's say you select your whatever daily budget you want and you click enable and you go, cool, like now what? So now I'm going to teach you like how to actually optimize the campaign, what you're going to probably see in the future, how to combat it, kind of prepare you for a couple different situations. But before we transition in that part, I want to just open up like, do you have any questions about anything I just said?
Yeah, real quick. So when you were talking about that click button, so you see how you have my phone number there on the website or on my ad. Do you have that where you can just click it, call me? You said on my website where it says instead of book appointment, I have my phone number there as well. So once I do that, you said I'll have to change something in my ads? Or
not the actual ads itself, no. So maybe can you try rephrasing that? Because the only thing with that phone number is like it's not being tracked via conversions if someone calls from your website. If they call right from the ads, like when we just looked at all like those search engine result pages, if someone calls from right there, we can track that. But if someone clicks on your ad and then they call your phone number from on the website, then it's really hard to track unless you use a third-party tool or you just want to kind of like guess and go by like if someone clicks on the button, right?
Okay. Yeah,
which I can set that up for you because I still have access to your Google tag and your website. So I can do that for you.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Other than that, man, I think we're good.
Okay. Other than that, still pretty good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So here's kind of like the next piece, right? Is now going into, again, like what you're going to see when the ads start running. What can you expect? What's it going to look like, right? So there was one little piece I want to show you, and I am going to kind of tie in your previous, Google ad efforts to kind of make this all make sense, right? So what's going to happen is naturally, these keywords are going to start to get traction. and you're going to get searches, right? Of course. So one thing you need to be doing here, and one thing I'll actually just go ahead and show you right here, is I went ahead and already made some general negative keywords for you. So negative keywords are keywords that you set that, I guess, block incoming traffic, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, I always make some like immediate ones, right? So these are at a broad match level. So these you can make exact, phrase, or broad as well, right? So when I'm working with any kind of local service, I immediately start off the bat with like tutorial or video. This could be someone being like, hey, how do I detail a car video? Like they want to learn how to do it themselves, right?
Right.
So this is a broad match negative keyword. So no one's ever going to be able to look up anything related to video and have your ads triggered. Okay. Another thing I always do too is like product, because when it comes to your business, someone could be looking for like detailing products. Like, hey, I want a little vacuum. I want some spray. So we don't want anyone looking for any products. We don't want anyone looking for anything free or a job or for sale or DIY. This probably won't. Well, this could be a lot with you too, but like like a lot of like, I see a lot of guys like looking up like Home Depot related stuff, like DIY, coupon, academy free. There's some more you can always add to this. Another one I like to do, I always like to do cheap. We can do Home Depot. It probably won't be as relevant for you, but those are good right there. So I'm going to add those in there as negatives now that we're talking about it. So we don't ever get anyone looking up for like, hey, cheap this or free this or hiring this. So these are important, right? But I just start these out of the gate because I know they're helpful. But what's going to happen, right, is once your ads start to spend, so I'm going to actually just open up to all your campaigns here. So what's going to happen once the main campaign starts spending, right, is typically you're probably just going to want to go here. So it'll only show you like the actual campaign that you're spending on, right? The one that's live. But since there's none live right now, I'm going to show you some examples. I'm just going to go to the all campaigns, and I'm going to go to, here's where you go to see what searches are triggering your ads, right? You go in here and you go to search terms, okay? So here is an example of some of the searches that you were seeing in the past, right? And you can see, okay, here's the campaign it came from. Here's the ad group it was in. And here was the actual search term that was looked up that triggered a keyword, right?
Okay.
You can also see like the average cost per click for this, the cost per conversion, everything you see right here, right? But this right here, this main section here is the most important thing for you just to get started, is because your job now, the first bit, right when these ads go live, like every day, every couple days, every 3 days, I would be checking these and making negative keywords so you can make sure that you're trimming fat and you're making negative keywords so then your searches are dialed in, right?
Okay.
Like, do you do paint correction?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, cool. So this one would be fine. Someone's looking up here to apply paint correction. That kind of, to me, sounds like they might be doing it on their own.
Yeah, probably. Or they're probably thinking of what do you call it? Like little like touch-up paint or something. A lot of people call that paint correction as well.
Okay, got it. So right, so this might be one of those ones where you kind of have to like look at it, right? And if you're already spending, you only spent $5 on it, but let's say you spend a little bit more on it, it's not converting, then maybe what you want to do here is click on this. You can add this as a negative keyword, but maybe you're like, but I still want pay protection. But maybe you just remove the word apply, because maybe apply kind of sounds like someone's doing it on their own, right? So maybe you make this a negative phrase match, right? So that's just an example. And then same thing going right here, like, okay, like Bob Moses, this is a competitor.
Yeah.
Right. So this is only looking for a competitor, right? So what you do here is you go to negative, and it's like, hey, I still want ceramic coating, but I don't want anyone looking up anything related to Bob Moses ever again. So you can make Bob Moses a negative phrase match. So now no one can look up anything related to that, right?
Right.
But the key there and why that I backspaced the ceramic coating was because if I made this, this is exact match. This is a little bit different. But if I just went ahead and made this like a negative keyword, because you have the word ceramic coating in here, this could overlap your actual keywords and cause a problem. You see where that could kind of go wrong? Yeah. So you don't want your negatives to overlap your actual keywords, or it's going to prevent some ads from showing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So this is, and so see, so right here, ceramic coating, Joplin, MO, is that like Missouri? Right? So like Joplin, Missouri. So that's, where probably want to get rid of that, or maybe look at the locations again, right? Little stuff like that. So see DIY, ceramic coating. So what
Yeah.
you do, I've already done this for you, right? But an example, like, okay, we don't want anything related to DIY, so we're gonna make DIY a broad match negative, or we're gonna make the
Okay.
word cost a broad match negative, right?
All right.
You got to keep these in advance too. Just like take a look. Okay, price. These are good. Okay, hand car wash. Do you wash? Is that what you are? That's
Yeah.
looks,
And
that feels like someone like looking for.
that looks like they're
you know,
trying to do it. Yeah.
it looks like they're trying to go to like one of those places where you put in like the quarters and you spray your own car and stuff. Those little stalls.
Right.
That's what it seems like to me, right? So okay, so maybe it's like okay, maybe get rid of the word car wash or all-star car wash. Maybe get rid of the word all-star. Jackson's, right? So there's a lot of these, right? So this is your big thing. It's just going to be keeping an eye on these and making negatives as you see fit, right?
Okay. Okay. Man, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like
Yeah, this stuff's pretty good.
$8, $5.
Totally. Yeah, this is where, like, this is the most important thing you can do. In the first 30 days of running your ads, don't worry about anything else besides staring at this traffic and making sure that nothing irrelevant comes through. Because, like, there are some, that are definitely worth it. Like, for instance, here, right? Like this one right here, this is a $12 keyword, mobile ceramic coating near me, but this guy converted, right? Based on your last stuff. So if that was a call from ads, I think that was the only conversion action you had set up last time was call from ads. So that's great. Is this keyword a little bit expensive? Sure, but dude, it converted. So like leave it right now, right? So that's good. But like a lot of this is going to be getting rid of the DIYers, the out-of-towners, the competition lookers, the car wash guys. I see that a lot, like Hand Wash or Jackson's or Cobblestone Car Wash or like, car vacuum, like people like looking for products. So you just have to go in there and manually get rid of these. But dude, especially, like with your, with your budget, you're after doing this for like a whole month or just like looking at this, on month one, like you're probably going to be good. So like, your traffic is probably going to be pretty solid.
Okay.
Right. So you shouldn't really have an issue after this anymore.
Okay.
After a month, but go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick, I'm on the actual Google Ads right now. Can you just show me? I just want to make sure I can get. I'm on campaign. Insights. That was and I would have to go into that campaign right there. So your leads. I want to make sure I can find that where you're at right now. My screen is.
So it just depends on how you want to do it, right? So right now I just did this for an example because you don't have a lot of traffic, so I want to show you some real results. So I'm just looking at all the traffic from all your campaigns, right?
Oh, okay.
And you can see the campaigns that are here, right? Like which one came from which word. But in the future, when you're looking at this for the campaign I made you, you're going to want to go into the actual campaign here and just look at it like this, right? There's not any now because the campaign hasn't ever ran, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I just was showing you for all of them, just so I can give you some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I just want, I want to make sure I had that. That way, I can go in and fix that throughout the days.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, that's something big to look at. Okay, so, that's a big thing. Okay, so month one, focus on the actual traffic. Literally, how I want it to look is, man, at the end of month one, when you're in month two, I want every single search term to be like ceramic coating company near me, auto detailer near me, mobile auto detailer, car detailer near me. Who's the best auto detailer, ceramic coating company? Like that's what I want all these to look like, right?
Like, no.
You want the highest, no BS here. No pricing, no how can I, no car washing, no competitors, right? So just tighten that up, okay? So now you have that going, okay? So then after that, now let's just go to my campaign that I've made you. And then once you're in here, right, you're also going to notice too that there might be some searches in there that are like really good that aren't as keywords. So you're more than welcome just to add those as keywords if you'd like. But because they're coming up, they're probably just getting grabbed on like from a phrase match, right? So what you can do in here is, long story short, right, how Google Ads works, and I'll just try to make this one quick because this can kind of get confusing. But how Google Ads works, right, is you see how your budget is at a campaign level. So this campaign is going to spend however much a day that you have this number to, right?
Right.
The campaign itself. And Google works as a cost per click. You pay per click, right? So if someone looks up something, triggers your keywords, they click it, Google gets paid, done, right? That doesn't mean that your money only spends on the best, highest converting keywords or ad groups. It just is going to be what is there what has the most volume, and like, do you have any budget left? We're going to put you in the auction. If they click, right? So what this means is that what's going to happen is that there's going to be some words, some keywords that are going to end up getting more clicks and more of a budget than others because of the volume, right? Like I can tell you right now, the word auto detailing has a lot more searches. Has a lot more searches than ceramic coating shop. I'll tell you that right now. Right?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, and because you have a lower budget too, what's going to happen is that here's what this is going to look like. You're probably going to see like in terms of like your costs, your clicks, probably going to see like 80% of your budget go here. You're probably going to see like 20% of your budget go here, and then you're probably going to see like, you know, like basically zero, right?
Okay.
I know I just said 80, 20, but you might see like 79, like 19, might say like 1% here, right? Because these ad groups are getting drowned out because all the budget's going to what's more popular. And that's just how Google Ads works, right?
Right. Okay.
So if you want to scale this in the future and you're like, well, dude, like I really want to get like ceramic coating jobs, like I really want them to like, you know, get some ad spend, then what you have to do is you have to break them out into their own campaign with their own budget, right? Because if you put those into a campaign with ad groups that are more popular and have more search volume, then they're just going to get drowned out. They're going to get eaten. They're going to not be there, right?
Okay.
So what you have to do here is like, let's say you're like, hey, John, I'm spending $20 a day. It's going good, but I want to give $20 a day towards ceramic coating. Here's what I would do. I would go like this. I'd go to edit. I'd go to copy. And once it loads, you can click on paste. And you can literally duplicate the campaign. So everything's the same. The keywords, the ad groups, the ads, all the setting, you literally just duplicate the exact same campaign, right?
Okay.
And here's what I would do. Once it'll only just take a second. It should fly through. But then what you would do, actually, no, here, I'll just stop it. Let's just pretend that I duplicated it, right? And then let's just pretend that this is like this new ad group. I would then just pause all these in this new campaign,
Okay.
and I would just have this going, and I would give it its own budget. Like, let's say like, you know, $20 a day.
Okay.
However much you want to put it, right? Because now when you have it at its own, see how it's only the only thing in there, and you have it $20 a day. Now it will spend money here, when in the other campaign it was getting drowned out because there was other things, you know, with higher searches there. Right?
Okay. Now
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So now it's kind of focusing on that.
Exactly. Yeah, because your budget is at a campaign level, so it's going to gravitate towards what's spending the money, whether it's the best thing, you know, or worst thing to spend, right?
Okay. Oh wait, that was something I was actually about to ask you. Can I that Google that ad group that you just made for my coatings? You just explained it. Can I make that can I make that a campaign? And just because that's what I don't struggle that much with. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't struggle. I do get a lot of mobile, like just regular appointments, mobile appointments. Ceramic coatings is what I've been wanting to improve on, and run my Google Ads for that. So that's something I did want to do. So you could actually leave that ceramic coating group that you just took apart. You can leave that just because I'll probably be running that separately for that. So yeah, that's perfect. That's really cool. That's really cool that you could do that.
Amazing. Yeah. So then here, let's just name it. I'm going to do leads. I'm going to name it ceramic coating.
Okay.
Ceramic coating only. It's a search campaign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like the initials of my company, Emma. I'm going to put that on this campaign so you know which one it is, because you have a lot of campaigns in here, right? And then I'm going to name this one too. And I'm going to, because now this was that one I duplicated, even though I thought I clicked stop, but it didn't stop. It did put it in here. That's okay. So what I'll do here is I'm going to put detailing, and let's just do, and I'll name this one auto detailing catch-all. And a catch-all, you know, just means like it's got all the ad groups, right? So now you've got these two. So boom, leads, ceramic coating only search campaign is right here. So boom, you click on this, its own budget only ceramic coating. And if you want to click on this one and go to like the catch-all, you can even, what I would do then here is so they don't cannibalize each other or fight over the same auction. So I would just pause this one right here.
Okay.
Right? Because you don't want them fighting over the same exact searches, right? It's better to keep them separate.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of how you can control like where your money's going, right? Because again, Google's not gonna spend your money where it's best and highest converting. It's just gonna spend it where there's the most volume based on your keywords, right?
Right.
So that being said, that goes all the ways here where let's say that auto detailing is taking up a ton of the budget, but its cost per conversion is like $80 and it's taking like most of the budget. But then you've got these next couple of keywords that are getting like 20% of the budget, but they're converting at a way better price. Then you can pause that keyword and go, okay, this keyword's just not converting for us right now, right?
Okay.
So this is kind of like probably like the nitpick you can go here, because the exact same thing I mentioned that happens in on like at an ad group level, you know, where like the money will gravitate towards certain things that have the most search volume.
Right.
You can even bring that down a step, and the same thing's going to happen inside your ad group for the keywords, right?
Right.
Like auto detailing services, auto detailing near me is going to have more search volume than auto detailing in Arizona. So what's going to happen is that you're going to see the same thing here, where like maybe 1 to 3 of the keywords rise to the top with the most ad spent, and then the other ones don't get spent, right? Which is okay if it's converting well, right? But then the problem is with most people is they use a broad match keyword that like overarcs all of them, and it just takes 99% of the budget, right? And then so if that keyword isn't performing the way you want it to, and if you pause it, then everything is screwed, because that's where all your money was going, right? So you just want to control that a little bit here. So just like keep an eye on like, hey, how much does it cost per conversion? If most of your money is going towards a keyword that's, you know, too expensive to convert compared to other ones, then pause it. Okay. So keep an eye on this stuff too.
Okay. Let me see real quick. Let me go over my ads on here on my computer. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, it'll be cost. So keep it on cost per conversion, right? On the Google Ads. So, because I got conversions, impressions. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, these are all just like columns. You can edit these as you want if you go into like custom columns here. But the ones that are really going to matter to you is like, okay, the clicks, the cost, the average cost per click, realistically, and then it's going to be like cost per conversion and conversions, conversion rate.
So okay, so for how much would you say would be an average click for just regular auto detailing? Does it go up in price the more it gets used, or how does that work?
No, that's a good question. No, so the price doesn't go up based on how much you get used. It just gets the price of a keyword like a click is basically just dependent on like your ad rank, the keyword quality score, and then how much Google thinks that keyword is worth, right? For the most part. And then it also like depends on your match type, right? So in your area, I would determine like a lot of these keywords are probably going to be like $5 to $6 a click.
Okay.
And then something more niche that's higher ticket that Google seems a little bit more competitive, like the ceramic coatings, those might be like 11 or $12, right? Like we saw them here, you can kind of get a little bit of a snapshot, right? Like, so these are words that you had, right? Like if you take a look, paint correction near me was $2.16. Car detailing Chandler was $3. Auto detailing near me was 19 cents. These are all broad match too, right? Like ceramic pro coating. This, okay, mobile ceramic coating, $12, $8, right? So you can kind of get a mixture. I would say realistically, they're probably going to be like $5 to $6.
Okay, awesome.
Because these are all broad match, right? So we're going to be targeting more phrase match. So as you can see, these kind of range like $3 to $8, but you're going to have some outliers. And that's also part of, you know, your job too, managing the account, is to be looking at that, right? Because if you've got one keyword that's $12 and it's not converting and it's taking budget, but you've got one that's, you know, $1.71 and it is converting, then there, you know, you can make an adjustment there, right?
Right. Okay.
So your biggest job is like putting the money where it's best used and making sure that your ads are showing up for the best stuff, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, dude. So I probably won't get into like advanced bidding strategies just because I don't want to overwhelm you. But stuff like you're managing like your average cost per click limit, or like your target CPA. I'm not going to dive into those because, you know, I just don't want to overwhelm you. Those are pretty advanced stuff that'll, you know, help you take control of the account. But since I know, you know, you're going to be managing it, I'm sure that, you know, you'll still be like watching some videos and like learning how to, you know, do better at this as well.
Yeah.
So that's something to worry about in the future. But yeah, for now, man, I would really just worry about making sure that the traffic is dialed into exactly what you want it. And then, you know, monitoring those keywords, looking where the money's going. Should I add? Should I remove? Stuff like that. And that's what I would do.
Cool. Awesome. So basically maintain what was it? The searches, the keywords that are used, just kind of chop it down. You recommend that I do it look at it like, what do you say, daily? Just look at that, chop down the words that I don't need, and then
Sure.
if a word is being overused and it's not producing leads, literally just pause it or remove it.
It depends. If it's a search term or if it's a keyword, it's different, right? If it's a keyword, then you can pause it because you know you don't want to use it. But if it's a
Mhm.
search term, then you can make this like a negative keyword so it doesn't show up again, right? Like
Mhm.
let's just say that you keep getting clicks, right? You've already got 2 for it. Let's say you just keep getting a bunch where it's like everyone just keeps looking up apply paint protection and it's not working, then you can just literally make it an exact match negative at a campaign level or an ad group level so it doesn't come up again, right?
Okay.
But if it's a keyword that's a problem, then you can pause those. Yeah. Don't ever remove anything. Don't ever remove a campaign or remove an ad group or remove a keyword, because then when you delete it, you also lose the data, right? So it's important because, like, let's say in a few months you're like, well, I want to make sure I have all the keywords that are correct. So let's say that you go and do some keyword research on your own, and you're like, wait, have we already used this keyword before? Man, I can't remember. And if you delete it, you won't be able to see it, right? So I'm always for never deleting anything because you want to be able to look at it in case you need it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, man, that is what I would do. And then again, yeah, man, like in the future, like stay up to date on your stuff, right? Just because we, spent 45, almost an hour here together, it doesn't mean that I've, told you everything to do. Like there is going to be, things that come into play. Like, okay, let's say that the ads don't work as well as you want. Like there's going to be changes you can make, like to your website to fix conversion rate. You can potentially, change some of the match types of these keywords depending what you want. You can control the bidding once you have conversions by, using target CPA or maximizing your cost per click limit based on the search impression share. Like there's a lot to this still, right? But all that stuff I just mentioned there, the only reason why I mentioned it was so now when you watch this video and you have this video and you're ready to take your knowledge to the next level, you can look up the things that I just told you and you can apply them to your account.
Okay.
So those are going to be the biggest things. Like those are like the high level stuff that I do for my client accounts. It's like that higher level strategizing and thinking and like taking control of the bidding and the auctions instead of just like letting Google spend, what we have set up, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll make sure. Okay. Awesome. So those campaigns are really already good to go. I can start running them right now.
Yeah,
so
dude.
I know how Google has a time. You can put a time into it, or like certain times.
Yeah, totally, man. That's actually a really good point. I wasn't going to get too into that, but since you brought it up, yeah, if it applies to you. So what you can do here is you can go into a campaign, right? There's a couple things you can do, like keywords are not sorry. In this section here, like locations, audiences, ad schedule. These are things that are pretty helpful too. If your ad schedule is just right here. So I just have it based on what you have it set to last.
Okay, that works. Yeah.
So this is what you had last, right? Do you recall?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I just used your previous schedule. I just figured like that's what your hours of operation were, or like hours you're on the phone. So
right. Yeah.
So adjust it as you want to, but
yeah, that works perfect. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That looks good. Yeah. I literally just hired someone to be taking my calls just for like
nice.
Just because of this, I was like, all right, I need to lock in on that. So someone's gonna be taking my calls. And yeah, I'll be watching out to kind of cut and make anything I need to make it work. And
nice,
then cool. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I need to check out. I have it on my computer. The ad. So if I was to make so for the you made it for Goodyear, Glendale, Litchfield, and some other city. You know how we made a new ceramic coating campaign? Is it for those areas as well now?
Yeah, so we just duplicated every single setting inside this campaign and just like flipped on a different ad group. So do you want to change like the locations for this like the ceramic coating?
No. The reason I say that was because if I was to go, could I copy and paste it again and literally just add more groups, or could I remove those groups if I was running the exact same campaign, exactly what you had? Literally just go remove those groups and add the groups I want, like the cities, or should I just make a whole?
Well, I guess it depends, right? It depends what you're trying to do. So we have like all like the ad groups in here. Like this was like your catch-all, right? This had the auto detailing, the mobile detailing, the ceramic coating, the car detailing, right? And I just literally, I went like this. I clicked copy, and then once you give it a second, and it literally, I click paste, and it'll name it exactly what this is. So if I pasted it again, it would make a new campaign called Leads Auto Detailing Catch-All Search number 2.
Okay.
And so that was what I did to get the ceramic coating, but I just renamed it. And then in this new campaign, I just paused all the other ad groups besides the ceramic coating.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. And another question I had, so the ad groups, is it the more ad groups you have, the better, or is it doesn't really matter how many ad
Well,
groups you have?
doesn't really matter too much. I always just have what's enough based on like the services, right? Like if I was doing this for a plumbing company, right, you might have like residential, commercial, emergency, like stuff like that, like drainage, like certain things, right? Like depending on the services you have and how different they are from each other, as well as doing the keyword research, right? If there's no one looking up drainage, plumbing, then you
Right.
wouldn't have an ad group for it, right?
Okay.
And again, like I told you, especially at your budget and like with the different amount of keywords, if you have, 5 ad groups in here, the money's really only going to go to like 1 or 2
Mhm.
because of the volume, right? And so that's when you're going to have more campaigns as you scale, right? So like if I'm working with a client and they want to spend $20,000 a month on Google Ads, I'm not just going to have one search campaign with, a bunch of ad groups in it, because the money's just going to get sucked, right? Like I have to manually spread these out and give money where it needs to go, right?
Right. Okay.
So the more ad groups, the better. Is like, I know that didn't really answer your question, but like
No,
that
yeah.
doesn't really,
It
like,
doesn't affect anything that much.
yeah, like the more like individual budgets you have is great, but like again, if you're only going to spend $20 a day, like I don't
Mhm.
recommend having, like a separate campaign for each ad group and then them being at like $5 a day, right? Like you still want to have
Yeah.
money like in this stuff too. And like I said, like you also want to see what Google does with your money and like how it goes, right? And adjust from there.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but I
Okay.
just know that like the reason why we made that separate campaign for the ceramic is because I just know that these keywords have a lot more volume than ceramic coating, and that it would have gotten drowned out, right? But
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, man, did that answer your question, kind of?
Yeah. No, I get that. I
Okay.
get that. Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. Cool. That all looks good. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start running that campaign pretty soon. Hopefully I get that. Yeah, I can get that going. And then the daily budget. What do you say if I start off at $50 a day? At least should I start it off with that and then bring it up more? What would you recommend for at least being in my position? Where would you put it as a daily?
Well, honestly, man, the daily budget, it kind of comes down to like, your personal finances, right? And like what the business can afford, right? And especially when you're going to get started and now you're going to be making the adjustments yourself, I wouldn't start with your maximum budget necessarily until you kind of get the hang of things. Like if your goal is like, hey, I want to be spending $50 a day profitably, maybe start with like 20 or $30 a day first. And then, get those searches, because you're still working all day. So
Yeah.
get it to a point where like, hey, like you spend $1,000. It's been like, a little, like a month or so. And, you've been tracking the actual search terms. You're seeing what's working. Maybe you've made some web adjustments. You made some adjustments. You're like, okay, like the traffic is good. Things are coming together. Then you can start to slowly increase that budget. But I wouldn't just put your max budget, especially, when you're going to be managing it and you're new to it. So I'd start. So if your goal is to spend $50 a day profitably, I'd start with like 20. I'd start with it's like 25 or $30 a day is where I would start.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll put that in. Cool. Everything seems to make sense. If you could just
Awesome.
after this call, if you could just send me that the recording of it. That
Yes.
way I have that saved.
Totally. Yeah, I will. And what happens is because I just recorded it like natively on the Google Meets itself, it will like probably take like, because I think this is like an hour-long video. This will probably take like a few hours for it to even go into my Google Drive. So if you just give me a few hours, once I get the notification that it's in my Google Drive, I'll make sure to share it with you.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
Yes, sir. Amazing, man. Okay, well, good luck out there.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate your time and on that call. Yeah,
of
brother.
course, man. Go kick ass with your auto detailing, man.
You,
Congratulations on hiring someone. Keep scaling, man. You're doing great.
Thank you, brother. Have a blessed day.
Okay, of course, man. You too. Take care.
brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye.